All right, folks, we're back. We're going to kick off this nice, quick 30-minute webinar. It's going to be quick and to the point. Try to answer as many questions as we have maybe towards the end. But initially, I just want to introduce, it is a new feature, the Easy Client in version 7.0. When we initially released 7.0, it came with certain functionality. We've added more to that. As a matter of fact, we're about to release a new version of the Easy Client as well with additional functionality. And you're actually going to be able to see that additional functionality because I have it on this machine. However, in the wild or out in the public, it is not quite available yet. So it should be released very quickly. We've got James Lopez on the line with us. He is from our TCX department. James, can you tell us when do we think the newer version is going to be out with the alarms and whatnot in it?
Well, it's still currently in testing, but that testing is pretty much in its final steps of being completed. And I would say that the updated release, the official GA version, should be available within the first half of May.
Okay, excellent. I just wanted to let folks know that, in case you have 7.0 and you saw mine, you would definitely see the differences because we've added some of that functionality. So it's good to be able to show it off. You just have to be slightly patient in the field. It should be arriving shortly. So anyway, let's just get started. I've got a very brief slide presentation. We're just going to talk about a couple of the things that I think are important to understand in the Easy Client, and then we're going to go right to a demo, show you some live, show you some playback, show you how to export, show the new alarm functionality that we're now adding to the Easy Client, and then go right into some questions and try to get you guys back out of here to do what you do within our 30-minute time period. So if we move a little bit forward, we should start with basically describing what is the Easy Client. It is, if you read on the right-hand side or see the pictures down in the bottom left, it's a web browser-based companion or alternative to Control Center. Now, most likely, I think most customers will probably use it as a companion. Maybe some one-off sites that have small camera counts. They just need a guard to be able to see stuff. They don't necessarily need the full-blown version of Control Center with all the bells and whistles. But, so there are going to be some who just simply use it as a standalone, or basically a Control Center client, the lightweight and feature-rich version of Control Center. So, and as you can see here on the bottom left picture with the finger on the screen, that's a tablet. It is touch optimized, especially some portions, especially when you're looking at live in full screen, you can just swipe with your finger. I don't have that functionality to show, but if you had it and installed it on a tablet of some kind, you would see the functionality is there. And also notice we have these three pictures are basically supposed to represent anything that you can open a web browser on. So we've got a laptop, a desktop, a tablet. Basically, it opens up alternatives that we did not have before when we had the Easy Client. So why do we need to use the Easy Client, or why would people use the Easy Client either as an alternative or as a companion to the full-blown version of Control Center? And the three main points are right there on your left-hand side. It's going to lower your hardware costs. Now, why do I say that? Well, Control Center itself, again, has all the bells and whistles, the full feature set. It does require a little bit of system resources, including 8 gig RAM, 300 megahertz, 3 gigahertz processor. So it does take some robustness, in your machine to run the full-blown version. However, this now allows you, because you can open it up on a web browser, and that's how you do it. You don't have to have, all of those system specs on each machine like you used to have before. So it's going to free you up a little bit and give you more options. The middle one right there, it's intuitive and easy to use. It's very simple. You're looking at it right here on the left-hand side. We'll talk about what that is. On the right-hand side, what that is, and then we'll get right into the demo. And then finally is mobility, and that's what we've talked about before. Your guards now, if they're not in the control room, maybe they're on their tour or doing whatever it is that they do, they still have access to seeing their cameras and performing some of the functions that they need to perform without actually having to be sitting, like I said, in the control center or in the control room with the full-blown version of Control Center. So again, let's just move forward. There are very brief things that we need to talk about because it is a web browser-based control center application, there are some limitations. You can see the 3 browsers that are compatible, and you might notice if you are a Mozilla Firefox user, it is not in our list here. I thought I'd heard that that's coming. We'll ask James that maybe in a couple minutes here, but you can see the 3 browsers that are available. There are version limitations, for instance Chrome, and this is optimized in Chrome, although the other 2 work fine as well. You got to have version 29 or higher. I think they're in the 40s right now, so that's pretty easy. Internet Explorer, you got to have version 11 or higher, so any of the previous versions of Internet Explorer, you'll get a message when you try to log into the page saying that this needs to be upgraded. And then Opera, of course, has to be 16. But notice in the parentheses underneath each one of those version limitations, there is one difference there, and that's Internet Explorer. And it says it can display up to 6 cameras. That's just a limitation of the Internet Explorer and how it was designed on that system. So the other 2, Chrome and Opera, you can actually display up to 9 live camera views. In Internet Explorer, you are limited to 6, so it's good to note that and keep that in mind. So let's just take a look real quick. Like I said, we're going to talk about some of the functionality and features here, but I really want to get to the demo and let you see it, and we can actually show it. But if you look here on the left-hand side, it's basically broken down, the live view anyway. It's broken down into 2 different sections. On the left-hand side, we have our camera catalog, which you can see highlighted there. It just basically displays all of the cameras that you have the ability to use. And then if you click on one of those there, then it shows up in the live section over here on the right. Now notice up on the top I've added the word responsive design, and if you look at it here in this quad view of 4 cameras that have been selected, you'll note this is not really a layout. There's no layout tab on the top like there is in Control Center. The Easy Client was designed with a responsive design functionality, which means it will automatically use the space that it has available to then realign the screens that are showing up on there. And if you notice down here on the bottom left, that limitation here that says 9 max, notice I have more cameras here in the camera catalog. This is a limitation of the live camera display area. So in Internet Explorer, you're limited to 6 here. Chrome and Opera, you're limited to 9. At any given time. So let's get right into the playback now. Now. This is a little overwhelming screen here, but if you look right in the middle, this is what we're talking about. This is the responsive design. It dynamically changes the screen layout based on the space that it has available. So if you look on the left and look at those 2 pictures, those are the same screen resolution, 1366 by 768. However, if you look at the top one, we have the camera catalog on the left, and we have the playback area, the camera chosen on the right-hand side. And if we collapse the camera catalog, which you can see on the picture on the bottom, it now opens up some more real estate or some more space for the system to use that responsive design to fill in the extra area. And you can see the same thing on the right-hand side as well. In 1920 by 1080, it has changed. Well, first I want to point out that these thumbnails across the bottom, what displays them are the functional from and to fields up here. So you basically tell the system, okay, display me thumbnails from this date at this time to this date at this time, and it automatically does this. Now once you do that, and you can notice here, there's more thumbnails as I described by simply collapsing that camera catalog. And then if we change the resolution, which we can't really show here, jumping back and forth in resolution, you can see that the camera catalog changes as well. We have more space, so it opens it up. And of course, we have more thumbnails because we have more real estate here with a higher resolution screen. So with that said, let's get to the live demo. And before, as I do that, as I start to set it up, I'm curious if, James, has anybody had any questions so far? Or if you do have any questions right now on the software on the right-hand side, go ahead and fire it into the questions section, and we'll take a look. James, do we have anybody? I think when we get to the demo right here, this will create a few more questions. So I think initially we just wanted to lay out, show what it was, show what it looked like, and then now let's get right to it. But James, do we have anybody with any questions? James?
No, looks pretty clear so far.
Excellent.
However, I just want to add in that you know, among the supported browsers, is if you're a Windows 10 user, you actually can use Edge browser now.
Great point. I forgot about that.
In the past, actually, it was blocked, but it's no longer the case.
Excellent.
And it works nicely.
Okay, good, good. So you have to use, for IE, I need to change my slide there. For Internet Explorer, it still needs to be 11 or higher, but you can also use Edge if you're using Windows 10, right?
Right.
All right. All right, now you'll notice here I've brought up the Chrome browser, which is my preferable or my preference in browsers, and you can see the address up on here. And to actually get to the Easy Client, you type in the address of your directory. If you're local, obviously if you're outside the network, you would type in the address of your gateway to the system, and then you'd have to have port forwarding set up in order for that to function. But any valid system account will work. Notice I'm just going to use the admin account. Now, I don't like showing people not using a password on the admin account because that is a very bad thing to do in practice. Keep in mind this is a training environment, so do as I say, not as I do. Uh-oh, page has expired. I had the page open for too long. Admin. All right. Now you can see, just as we saw previously, on the left-hand side we have our camera catalog. On the right-hand side we have the live display area. Let's look at the top bar first. Up across the top we have our date and time. And if you look here, we can choose between live and playback, and that's different than full-blown control center, right? You can actually do both at the same time. Here you do have to choose one or the other. And then on the right-hand side over here, we have these two icons here that don't have a pop-up when you hover over them. But this one, or actually this one, you can sort of see, and it even looks like, this is an alarm queue. So any of my alarms that I have set up, and I've actually turned them off now, but they're still haven't been cleared, so you can see them. It's noted here. I've got 100, which is the max it'll actually show me at any given time. I made the mistake of setting up a motion detection alert on a very busy street, and over the weekend I had about 10,000 of these, and I just haven't cleared them all out yet. But next to that, this is the export queue. So when I go to export something in playback, it arrives into the export queue, and from there I can manage that export. And then, of course, on the far right, we have our user that is logged in, and we have our help files and an about screen as well. But as we talked about before, the two main functions are the camera catalog and the live display area. If I click on any camera in my catalog, it displays it over on the right-hand side. And as I mentioned, in live view anyway, the dynamic, the responsive design takes place as soon as you try to add another one. So you can see I have chosen one camera and I've made it full screen. As soon as I touch another one and add it, notice there's no layouts like there is in Control Center. If I click on this, it automatically changes my screen design, and now you can see it's prepared for the third and the fourth camera there as well. If I were to add a fifth camera, which I don't have hooked up to my little 4-port switch here, then it would, again, change the design and make it into like a 3 on the left, 3 on the right sort of view. So very simple to do, and as we talked about before, if I collapse my camera catalog, you can see the system automatically realigns. This is the responsive design that we were talking about. And for the live view, the only other thing to really talk about is up here on the top left-hand side. We do have a couple of filter functions. We have a search-based filter function. I have 3 quasar, actually I have 2 quasar cameras, an aerial camera, and an Axis PTZ here. So if I was just looking and I had hundreds of cameras, if I just type in a text search, as you can see, it takes me to, it eliminates all the ones that are not, that don't meet the filter text. And also, I have this button here. Now, it's important to note, if in Control Center or in Admin Center, you don't have sites set up, specific things that, if you know Control Center, you know what those are, nothing will actually show up here. So I actually had to go into Control Center or Admin Center. Let me check that first. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. On the left-hand side here, I've just Site 1, and I've thrown in my aerial camera. Site 2 has my Axis camera, and then Site 3 has my other 2 quasar cameras that are listed there. If I didn't have sites, that filter button simply just would not appear here. It would be empty. So if you do have different sites, I can actually show, as I mentioned, if I take out Site 3, my bottom 2 cameras will disappear because those are the 2 that I had on Site 3. My Axis PTZ will disappear there. It's very straightforward stuff, and you can actually search for text-based sites if you have a whole lot of them as well. So it's pretty straightforward stuff and nice and easy to control what you want to see based on your filter and function here in the camera catalog, and then what you want to see and display here simply by clicking on the live cameras themselves. So as you can see here, if I were to click on all 4, oops. Oh, also to take out a camera. There's 2 different ways to do it. If you're on the camera catalog, any of this gray area that pops up, if you click that, it takes away the camera. Which one is this? It's the truck. And also on the screen itself, the displayed image, as soon as it comes up here, we got a bit of a delay. All right, how about that one then? then you can actually click the little X here to make it go away. Now the last thing I wanted to talk about, let's stop that one. I don't know what the connection issue is. The last thing I wanted to point out here was the full screen. So this is big enough already as by itself, but if I wanted to have all of my cameras in here, for instance, I would put them all back in. And then if I double clicked on one, it would take me to the full screen. And this is where we talked about the touchscreen optimized. Right here, I would just scroll with my hand and it would rotate between all of my available cameras that I have in that display. So really, it's all based on what the customer is most comfortable with that day, right? They can pick and choose. Now, the last thing to talk about here in the live view are the camera overlays. And you can see if I hover my mouse over any of these cameras, the thing that's universal, I have a playback section here, which looks just like this one. If I choose playback from a specific camera, it'll take me to playback right with this camera. If I go to playback here, which I'm about to do here in about 10 seconds, it'll just take me to the playback section, and then I have to choose my cameras. That's the only difference. The other icon on here is a snapshot. It'll simply take a picture and send it up to the export queue, the flag up here that we talked about before, and then I go to the queue to manage that export. So I can just do that real quick. You can see it took a snapshot, and now you can see the one indicator up in the notification area for exports. And then finally, is the PTZ overlay. This is my PTZ here, my Axis camera. I have some presets set up. I could move the camera around at my leisure. I could choose my available presets. That's one. I think I have the preset 2 is what I was originally set at. And there we are, right back to there. So the functionality still is quite feature rich, but it is a lightweight version. There are some things that it just doesn't do. It wasn't designed to do that Control Center does. So James, I guess at this point we'll throw it out there and see if we have any questions. We still have about 10 minutes left, which should be perfect for the playback section, and then maybe any other questions there. But we just wanted to see if anybody has any specific questions about the live view. James, what do we got?
It looks all pretty quiet at the moment.
Okay. Anything that I may have missed? Anything I missed maybe that you wanted to add?
Not really. I mean, you've been actually covering it pretty well.
Well, it's pretty easy.
Especially the...
Yeah. Excellent. All right, well, you can see I have a camera difficulty here, but that's something for another webinar. All right, so let's now go to playback then. As I mentioned, if I click on the little binocular icon, it takes me to the playback section, and then I choose a camera to choose from. If I'm in the live section and I choose one of the overlay icons, for instance, let's come down to this one and go to playback, it simply removes one step. I don't have to click over here to actually bring it up. Of course, I've chosen a camera that's having difficulty coming up, but it seems like it's coming very slowly. All right, now what I wanted to show here basically in playback, and I really wish I had a live view here. Let's go to another camera. All right, just so we can get it up and running. All right, now you can see that the thumbnails displayed across the bottom. One thing I do want to point out the differences here. And again, this is the version that's out right now does not have this functionality. You'll see it does display thumbnails across the bottom, but you won't see this yellow bar here, which is a great addition, if you ask me. And there are a couple of other things especially the alarms and whatnot that you will not see as well. So this does look a little bit different, and when the new version comes out here, hopefully in May, everybody will have this functionality because this is vastly improved, I think, on the original. So basically what displays the thumbnails across the bottom, or what dictates which thumbnails are displayed, is the from and the to field. This is what we talked about briefly in the slide deck. If I were to change any of these, it would change not only the thumbnails being displayed, but also the yellow line right here. If you note, I've got a 24-hour period, and that's because it's telling me to show the last day right here. So if we start there, you can see this functionality is pretty straightforward. If I just want to see my last 30 minutes, boom, the display changes. Now my thumbnails are repopulated, and my timeline area has changed as well. When I'm on the timeline, now that I've gotten here, I could actually move this around, and my duration will remain the same, but it'll just move it forward on the timeline. I can move my entire timeline just by clicking and dragging it. I can go to a specific time with this slider, and it'll display that time, like say, or if I click on a thumbnail, it'll take me to that time on the slider bar as well. And then finally on the slider here, if I click on the slider bar here or anywhere and then use my mouse as a scroller, you can see it's actually condensing and expanding very similarly to how the timeline does in Control Center. This is also a new function, which I like a lot. It makes it a lot easier to find something. This is a visual search, right? The thumbnails and the playback are designed to incorporate, you know, all the thumbnails here. You're going to tell it, show me the beginning and the end, and from there visually I can see. If I was looking for the red car to pass by that time, this is just a bad example, but I can visually see this without having to scrub through this entire time of video to find what it is I'm looking for. For instance, if this was a parking lot and there was a car that was stolen, this would be a great example of how to use the visual thumbnail functionality when you're searching for something that happened when you're not exactly sure when it happened. All right, again, I can actually change this timeline by grabbing the edges, and you can notice the duration will change up here and the thumbnails will be repopulated again. So there's a number of ways now that we're able to get to what we're looking for very quickly. I think when 7.0 was first released and the Easy Client first came out, we got a lot of great feedback from our partners out in the field. They said, hey, what about this? How about if you add this? And a lot of the things I see now in this new version, I'm a big fanboy of, because, you know, just like the people that were in our beta environment, there were certain things that, you know, we wanted to get it out there and get most of the functionality, but there were certain things like alarms and whatnot that we did have to add. And this timeline is just much better than it was originally, so kudos to the coding team. I really like this new version. All right, it makes it easier, right? It's in the name, Easy Client. All right, now finally the last two things that we do want to talk about are exporting, which you can see I did with the snapshot, but I can also export based on this here. So if I locate what it is I'm looking for, let's pause it, and maybe I want to export from there. Again, that changes the from time, and I let it play out, and I find out that the end is there, for instance, and you know, it's a little bit long even. Once I've located the beginning and the end, just like we do in regular Control Center, I can then click on Export, and again, just like in full-blown version of Control Center, I have two choices: DVT format, which is our proprietary watermarked format, and of course we can choose AVI if we like. I'll leave it at DVT. I'll just hit Start, and you'll see the flag will change to 2, which it's already done. And if I click in there, you can see this was my snapshot. This is my video export that I've just created. And the one thing I do want to point out here is I took a snapshot a few minutes ago, and I'm about to complete this video export, but nothing has fully been exported yet. What happens is when you use the exporting function, it goes into the export queue, and this is where you manage all of your exports from. So you have two choices basically from the queue. You can download it. I'll just download that real quick. This is Chrome, so you can see it pop up right down there. I could download this as well. It goes to the C downloads folder by default in Easy Client at the moment, so that's something to note. Or, I mean, you could figure that out yourself, but that's where it goes, and there is no function where I can change where that does go. So the only other option then, of course, is to delete with the trash can. So all of these will stay here until you actually do that. And again, I really like the addition of this little yellow slider bar here, especially for the exporting function. I don't have to go in and put in times and dates, and that's what you did have to sort of do on the initial version that we rolled out. So that's exporting. Again, very quick, very simple, very easy. It's in the name. And then finally, I think the last thing I want to point out before we show the help files, and we're right at the 5-minute mark, so we're perfectly timed. This is a queue as well. The alarms will come in. Now, what I have to do is, first thing I'll do is I'll just click the queue so you can see. So all the alarms that have come in, there's 100 in here. If I want to click on the picture itself, it'll take me right to, well, it's playback because that's what I had tied, and that's where it's pulling it from. But if I click on a live alert when it comes in, and it'll pop up down here on the bottom right, very similarly to how Control Center does it. If I click on that, it'll take me to whatever I set up in my admin center to do during that alarm. Show me a live, show me a playback, start recording. All of those functionalities will show up here as well, although cannot be controlled in the Easy Client, right? That stuff's done in Admin Center. But you can see here's my, and it's a fence line. That's just within what I named it. It's actually just a little box I do around this road, and this road is very busy, so that's why I have thousands of these. So let's get rid of these for now, and you can see I can either clear one at a time right here, or delete it, or I can just clear everything that's in the queue. And I thought I clicked it. There it goes. And then it just tells you, hey, are you sure this is going to clear everything? I like these little warning messages like that. And now I've cleared all of my alerts. Now, I do want to show them coming in, and I can do that very quickly because I have an alert set up on this camera already for my zone motion on, as we talked about. But it would have hammered us during the entire webinar, so I did not have it on. So bear with, whoops, I didn't, yeah, I forgot to move it over, didn't I? All right, now she's saved. Let's come out of the tab. All right, now, basically from doing nothing at all, we should see, and of course no cars are coming by now, the only time during the entire day. Okay, here comes one. You'll see it here in a second. I think I hear it. Notice right here on my timeline, I set this up with a motion detection alarm, so the timeline reflects the motion detection. And of course, it's not cooperating with me now, and no one is driving by that very busy road at the moment. But what we can do is you'll see them pop up, and they're managed exactly the same way as I described from the queue itself. When it does pop up, I'll click on it, and you'll see it'll take me to the live view, because that's what I have tied into the alarm when I set it up itself. Or you know what? I think because I know what the problem is, I set that up after I was already logged into the Easy client. This is a no-no. Now you're going to start seeing them every time a car goes by. So we can prove this because here's the view. So I believe my zone is right here. But James, I guess we're about 3 minutes out from the half-hour mark. So I guess we should throw it out there. I do see one question. Somebody asked the version of Mozilla Firefox that, do you know if there's going to be any addition? Are we going to actually add it, or are we going to just ignore it? I'm just curious. I know a lot of people like it, but this is, again, I mentioned early on, this was an optimized for Chrome application. But James, what do you got?
So I actually haven't heard when the plans are. It could be 7.1. I don't think we'll see it return in 7.0.
Okay, but it is in the roadmap, hopefully. Yes?
It's not. It's okay. So they talk about it. It's not something that's set in stone, though.
Gotcha.
I think it's one of those. If we got time, we'll do it.
It's being bandied about on occasion, but no solid plans at this moment. All right, good enough.
Right.
We have no other questions, it looks like, right now. And again, I didn't really expect a whole lot of questions because it's an easy client, right? I mean, that's it's even in its name. And when I was part of the beta testing team, when I first got it, I said, oh, okay, it's in the name. I'm not even going to look at the manuals or any of the documentation. I'm just going to do it. And it really was pretty simple and easy. The last thing, again, I'll show just on that vein is if I drop down my account here, I could either log out, which I'll do in a second, or I can go to the help files. Now, the help files are very extensive. Again, I love the help files. We even have, you won't see the alarms and stuff, but you can see everything is pretty straightforward here. Even the help files themselves are not that detailed because there's really not a lot of detail needed. If you're familiar with Control Center and all the functionality that it has, all the bells and whistles, what we've done is we've focused all those core features into a package for our customers to give them those options that we talked about: mobility, save yourself some hardware costs, and we had to design this very intuitively and easy to use in order to be able to bring it all together. So that's basically it. We will record this session. We have been recording this session. I will make it available to the attendees. James, is there anything to add, maybe something that I forgot to talk about in the Easy client? And if not, we'll close out. James, did we lose you?
No, I'm still here. No, I think you've pretty much covered everything.
Okay.
At least regarding the Easy client.
Excellent.
Yeah, like you said, there's some nice new features, but there's still not a lot to it, and it's very intuitive.
Very much. And the alerts and the alarms, I can't believe mine's not showing up. I should be getting them now. Maybe I logged in. Oh, you know what I did? I think I had the other account. But basically, when the alarm comes in, it pops up on the bottom right, just like it does in Control Center. It'll now go up into the queue for you to manage it. Or in that little pop-up that comes up here, you could delete it right from there or clear it right from there, actually. And if you click on the picture, it'll take you to whatever is sort of sewn into that alarm, whether you've told it to show me live, show me playback, etc. So with that said, we are right at 11:31, and we really started a couple minutes late, so I think I've nailed the 30-minute mark, which is a big goal for me because I tend to talk a lot. So with that said, I'm going to let everybody go back to their daily lives. I appreciate you coming to this webinar. We do have a few other webinars coming up, including some FLIR thermal webinars, which is fascinating, a new sort of thing that I get to learn about now that FLIR has purchased DVTEL. But with that said, again, if you have any questions in the future or anything about this that may come to you after the fact, my email is marty, M-A-R-T-Y, .major, M-A-J-O-R, @FLIR.com. So with that said, I'll let everybody go, and we will sign off for the day. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Marty.
Thanks, James.
No problem.